Oh, okay.
There's shrapnel everywhere.
Let's go! Oh my god.
Season of the Worthy in Destiny 2, which started on March 10, 2020, was one of the weirdest seasons players ever experienced. From bad pacing, boring public events, simple yet tedious grocery list bounties to turn in, and just a slew of broken bugs and hackers that made the cracks of normally covered concrete content look like a dang earthquake out there.
Just let it out. Just let it out one.
How does this happen?
Every quest!
Stop!
One piece of content that started the trailer for the season off hot was the Almighty. A ship that Thanos from the Avengers and the Emperor from Star Wars would be proud of was on its course to crash into the last city after the events from Destiny 2's Sundial the season before. After almost 3 months of this ship moving from place to place in the solar system, on June 6th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the final Scion Sisters' vengeance was to be had, and eventually we were there to see Destiny history. The reason we are talking, or more specifically the reason we will be talking about the first ever world event in Destiny, is because it was, in a few words, better than we expected. But this event still comes with some feedback that we will also get to, and we will get to why this event was important, what was the community reaction, and what this means for the future events in Destiny. Strap yourself in and come and wait in the tower for the Travis Scott concert as we talk about the first ever world event in Destiny, Sisters' Vengeance. Some footage in this video is from players around the community. Their links will be in the description of this video, as well as the music too. You guys have absolutely crushed it with the nostalgic merch, so thank you so much, and if you still want to check it out, it will be in the description down below. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody in between, I have something to say. Thank you for what's soon to be 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. At the time you see this video, we may have hit the mark. We may be past the mark. And for the lucky few that make it before the mark, I have good news for you. My friends at Gamersubs have given me 500 completely free. Yes, that includes shipping, free as long as you're in the US, sample packs of Gamersubs. They are not paying me by any means for saying this. They just wanted to gift you guys with an energy formula that is completely keto friendly, diabetic friendly, no sugar, no BS, not gonna send you to the moon, heart rate kicking, healthy alternative to coffee and other energy drinks. Seriously guys, I have tried so many energy drinks and was just not satisfied. All the aftertaste, the taste itself, the high to low energy immediately after, the filler, I was just kind of sick of it all. But I'm happy it led me to G-Subs. Anybody who comes to my stream knows that I literally have a cup of G-Subs with me at all times. I drink it on stream and I talk about how great it is all the time. And that's because G-Subs has 100 milligrams of organic caffeine with essential vitamins. A lot of other products use maltodextrin, which is a filler, and makes the serving size gigantic. G-Subs uses a quarter of the size serving, which is a 0 on the glycemic index, so no insulin response and no blood sugar spike. Like I said, they are not paying me to say this, I'm just happy to be partnered with them. And you can use code 100K on the free sample pack if you're one of the first 500 to see this by clicking the link down in the description, or you can use code EVAN at checkout for 20% off any order for a week from when this video comes out. Otherwise, it's still 10% off. Thank you all for all your support, as it means literally the world to me. Seriously, thank you. And now, on to the world event. Alright, so what was the goal of the Season of the Worthy in Destiny? Most people probably didn't know the answer to that, so let me try to explain. Last season, the Season of Dawn, the Cabal Scion Sisters, 3 of them to be exact, were in the boss's rotation each week in the Sundial. But the 4th one, I think, fell asleep on the ship for a few months and didn't hear the news that her sisters were dead until the beginning of this season. So, Amtech decided to do what anyone would do in that situation and set a crash course for the Almighty, a giant sun-destroying superweapon the size of Mercury in diameter and larger than Oryx's dreadnought, into the last city on Earth. Now, we needed to be the ones to power Rasputin on. But the only way to do that was gonna be through public events and boring bounty. Hell yeah! After what seemed like years of bounties and Seraph Tower public events, the entire community was given a quest called The Lie, which we made a whole video on already, but in short, it was a whole 9 million Seraph Towers. Community didn't want to do them. Bungie made it easier. Door in the quest wouldn't open due to a bug for 4 days. Finally, the lie was revealed, and Rasputin's reasoning for being scared to trust humanity was finally shown. During this whole time of months of waiting for something, anything to happen, the Almighty was slowly making its way to Earth. From seeing it in front of Mercury again, to eventually seeing it in front of the sun orbiting Earth if you had some sunglasses for it.
If we'll be able to see it from this direction. This was the most visible that I saw last week. Hold on. People said to go to... They said to turn it down. Turn your field of view all the way down. Ah! It's right there! Oh my God! Jesus Christ! That's f***ing scary!
But while the trailer was like this,
Anna, are you there? Report.
The Cabal have taken out the primary engine. It's like they want this thing to drift off into space forever.
Not forever.
the season was like this. One thing was new, however. The threat of the darkness was creeping in week by week, and if we are eventually going to fight it, we need Rasputin to show us we could trust him. So with all that being said, with a poor season in the eyes of the community, why was Destiny 2 and Bungie trending all over the internet on June 6, 2020? Well, you did click this video, so I guess I'll tell you, buddy. Because of the first world event to ever hit the game. The day is May 26, 2020, and a couple of things happened on this day. Number one, the music in the tower was different. Not our typical hopeful music, but instead a dominating, heavy horn, Cabal-like soundtrack played. And even wilder, the Almighty, if looked at with the brightness turned down and as zoomed in as possible, and only during the day, could be seen in front of the sun. It was approaching. The next day, it was even bigger. And even the next day, it got bigger. We thought it was going to be like that forever, but then we moved forward to June 2nd, where the Almighty was getting extremely close. We finally land on the day that will go down in history for Destiny, as the Almighty was now massive, and an hour before the event, at 9 AM Pacific Standard Time on June 6th, was dangerously close with onlookers in the tower like Zavala, Shax, Ikora, Clan Lady, and even some NPCs trying to steal all the content by staying in a selfie pose for hours. This was seriously about to be massive. At 10 AM Pacific Standard Time, the event was set to kick off, and we waited on as the Almighty soared in orbit. Would Rasputin respond, or would Rasputin not take action at all? Well, we didn't do 9 million Seraph Towers for nothing, but much like the Seraph Towers, we were going to have to wait for those 9 million missiles to come in hot. So, the event started at 10 AM, but the first real sign we were in a non-bugged instance was when we saw tiny red missiles slowly making their way to the Almighty. Then, we waited, and waited, and we waited some more.
Yeah, it's time for Bungie to put their evolving world mouths where their money is, or money where their mouth is, whatever. It's a perfect time to crash it into something. Is this dude motherfucking serious?
I understand that this is hard to do, but everyone's watching. You gotta get it right.
You
you be doing something else? Isn't it a good defense of the event? I don't have to defend the event. It's a live event. That's how they go. Everybody gathers around and watches a thing slowly take place. Like,
was this going to be a colossal failure? Or was this going to be a Travis Scott Fortnite event? Maybe he was the guardian trapped on the Almighty after all. Not even going into sicko mode could save poor Travis, as at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, explosions hit the sides and core of the Almighty, a whole hour after the event started. Missiles blasted all over the Almighty. Then, we knew it was about to get wild, around 25 minutes after when the explosions erupted, at 11:25 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, in a blinding light. And the rest is history.
Honestly, this ship is taking longer to explode than Chris and I's relationship going from.
Let's go! Oh my god. Bro, that thing's coming this way.
Oh, shit. Okay. What the? I think we may have lost Saint 14 with that chunk. This thing is coming in hot.
Oh. There's shrapnel everywhere. Like, we are actually in trouble, boys. Evacuate the tower!
Still going, still going,
Holy
still going, still going.
Yeah,
There it goes, there it goes, there it goes. We got it, we got it. It's going. It's going right to the mountain range.
Hit the tower?
There we go.
Whew. Well, it missed, that's for sure. If you look closely, you can see Cade riding it down. Oh, how sad. Oh, sh**. Oh, this isn't good. We might want to get down, guys. Oh, it literally pushed me backwards. It was so loud that we got the ear buzz.
That was insane. That was Destiny's first ever world event. That was, to me, what could only be expressed as better than I expected. I think 90 minutes for an explosion when it could have been 30 minutes is something I would want in the future, but to me, it was pretty clear Bungie didn't want everyone to suffer this fate.
Wait, it kind of looks like it's missing the tower completely.
It's not going to hit the tower, but it's going to land outside of the tower, on the outside, towards the wildlands.
Oh, and then we're gonna have a new Crucible map looking at the tower. Ah, I see.
Maybe.
There we go. I got beavered. Let's go.
Did you really?
Right at the last second.
And gave plenty of time for everyone to sit and watch in the tower. But let me ask you, what did you think of Destiny's first ever world event? Was it boring and bland, or was it a Travis Scott Fortnite concert great? RIP. Let me know in the comments what you thought. The aftermath of the explosion was a small chunk of the tower was now missing, and upon investigating you received an emblem. You could also talk to Zavala and Anna Bray, and they both thanked you for everything. Anna even said some interesting words at the very end, which may lead to more speculation about her sister, Elsie Bray, also known as the Exo Stranger. Anyways, that was Destiny's first ever world event. And if this was the first one, I can only imagine where they go in the future. Just please don't make them an hour and a half again. That was a long time. I also want to say that this goes further than just Destiny, right? I mean, Fortnite has been doing live events. Destiny is now doing live events. Who's next? Where will they go? How do you top Fortnite? And how is Destiny going to eventually try to top Fortnite? We will just have to see. Anyways, until next time, thank you for 100,000 subscribers if we are there. Thank you for the support if we are further. And if you are early, remember, code 100K for a free sample. Remember, you can always say hi to me, ask me questions, or just chill over on YouTube. Link is in the description. Everybody, enjoy the bloopers and have a nice day. I'll see you later.
They designed it in a way so that anybody on Saturday could log in for an hour and a half and see progress on something happening in the skybox. Instead of making it take like 10 minutes or 20 minutes, they decided to drag it out. Because did you see all the complaints? As soon as they announced they were doing a live event, all I saw were people complaining like, well, what if I'm not able to be there? I'm not going to be able to take part and blah, blah, blah. Like, they erred on the side of letting the maximum amount of people take part in it. Like, if you've been here from moment one, good for you, but like, there's plenty of people that are getting an opportunity to take part now.
Hey, what's up, you know what's nice, chat? You know what? No way. Okay, and before you rage, just think for a second. Y'all stared at a black hole in Fortnite for 38 hours. You're good. You're good. This is fine.
Is this coming to the tower? Oh, what? No way it's coming to the tower, bro. Yo! Are you catching this with your phone? We're about to die! Savala! Oh! No! Fail, bro!